Hi, this is my story. I used to be a partner in two restaurants. My wife had a good job, and we pay off our mortgage. And then we were financially stable. I mean, yeah, two incomes, no kids at the time. Things, right? And then when my $2 came, more bills came, and then when times get a little bit tougher, I developed a depression due to a lack of inner peace and security. I mean, and then the two beautiful daughters started the school, and then there were more bills. More bills means, man, I mean, more pressure, more stress, more burden. And then, yeah, and then I never want my family to worry. I mean, but when times came tough, I mean, especially during financially, that it's not easy. And at one point, I had tried my hands in financial speculating a few years earlier than that. I mean, at that time, it was not the stock market, but it's like playing the currency market with borrow money. At one point, the account was up more than $100,000. And then one night, I lost all the paper gain and was down even $50,000. I mean, that was tough. And I had to pay all the debts from the family savings, and I quit. There was a morning call for me that yeah, I couldn't gamble anymore. So yeah, that's it. But ever since then, I don't have much of a sense of security. And gradually, my depression become diagnosed to be clinically depressed. I mean, confined to bed for about 3 months. I mean, I could only work from home a little bit. I mean, doing some paperwork and accounting work for the business. I couldn't go out because the light really hurts me, and because the future is so gloomy, I don't even want to face the tomorrow. All I wanted to do is just to stay in bed and sleep. I mean, I don't know how to handle it. I was so depressed. And then finally, with the help of medication, that I became to get some rest. And then after 3 months, I can gradually walk outside the home. And about a year later, I can go back to work. And then with the help of medication, I mean, I stuck out for the next 10 years. It wasn't easy because I never have the security of about tomorrow. I mean, the the fear of losing every month, every penny I got haunted me all this time because the future is so dark and so gloomy to me. And then one day, my sister-in-law called me after her husband passed away. She wanted to go to church and she wanted me to drive her there. Well, how could I say no to a woman who just lost her husband? And on the other hand, I didn't want to go to church. I mean, for I have been in church before. I mean, when I first came to the States in 77, 78, and I went to church and even get baptized. But that time was only a cultural thing. I mean, it's rituals. I never knew God and I never experienced God. And I ran away. I ran away because every week they asked for more money for a new basketball court, more money for more books in the library, and they don't even have enough money to run the day-to-day operation. The whole entity is in red. I felt I was scammed, and I ran away ever since. And now, 35 years later, I mean, it was quite an experience. When I walked into the church, it was just like walking into a place I'd never been to, but it felt so familiar and so welcoming that I can hear this place yelling at me, "You're coming home. You're coming home." I was surprised to see all the joy that people have on their face, which I always long for, and the peace that it show from the complexion that I never had. A little bit later, then I even heard a voice saying, "Well, it's time for you to come home, George." And I've been going back to church ever since. A few months later, that I heard a testimony from a young man and his parents. Christopher Yuan get kicked out of dental school a few months before he received his doctorate because he dealt drugs in school. A few years later, he was sent to federal prison for dealing drugs in different states. And out of his desperation, he called his mom from prison. She has been always praying for him and kept telling Christopher about Jesus, but he never listened. When his mom picked up the phone, there was no judgment. All she said was, "Son, are you okay?" That really touched me. Wow, this is God, who God is. So loving, so caring, always accepting. It doesn't matter how much wrong I've done and how broken I am. When I come home, and He will receive me. And the Holy Spirit convicted me to accept Christ that evening. Soon later on, I get baptized. But this time it's for real because I really come to know God. I felt His presence inside me and His assurance of my future. Jesus gave me the complete acceptance and security and peace that I have always wanted and I never had. And now I got it all. Being a Christian doesn't mean I'm trouble free. I still face a lot of stressful situations, but now with confidence that Jesus is with me because His peace and security are with me. And my life is have a much greater purpose now than achieving wealth and success and fame, which I try so hard and even try to get accepted by people when I have more money, which I never did. Because now God has given me a bigger purpose to walk with Him and His assurance that He will be with me always. As King David prayed in Psalm 18:2, it said, "My God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. My God is my rock. And whenever I have trouble, I can always go to Him and take refuge. He will shield me from the rain, shield me from the storms, shield me from my enemies. And He has saved me. And He is my stronghold." Friends, don't you want to have total acceptance from Christ? Don't you want to have inner peace and security from God? And don't you want to have some place to run to and take refuge when there's trouble?